Today on the show, we're going to talk about how business does not come without a struggle, how failure is not a real word, and how fun it is to learn new skills whenever you're facing challenges. Now, life has more meaning when you have a struggle. You ever heard that before? I know I definitely have. When I first heard it, I thought somebody was losing their mind. What do you mean life has more meaning when you have a struggle? Let's think about it for a moment. Whenever we face challenges, it helps us, especially in our emotional base, to be able to remember the story. You know, one of those, especially if you went to a haunted house or you had a situation when you were doing something in maybe a sports activity, then all of a sudden you remember the ups and the downs. Let me just explain to you. Early on in my career, when I played sports, what I noticed is that I had a lot of people on my team, from recreational to organized sports, that they love to win. I know you do as well. Winning is fun. It's something we always want to do. Losing, not so much. However, you got to build a team that actually is willing to lose with you. That's the challenge when it comes to living life. Getting into a relationship, actually getting involved with somebody who's willing to be there when you fail, as excited as they are to be there when you win. Same thing goes in business. Do you have partners or co-owners or shareholders that are there for you when you fail too? They're just as happy to fail with you, and they also are just as excited to win. Well, you gotta have both, just so you know, guys. You gotta have both. You can't just have one without the other. Both matter. When it comes to understanding how to operate anything, life can be lonely at times. Business can even be lonelier. The question is, do I have people with me that's willing to lose with me, that's willing to win with me? Think about it for a moment. Do you have anyone in your circle? Because life has more meaning with the struggle. Who would have ever thought that the struggle would mean so much? Let's take it from a different perspective. Whenever you're going to do something great, you got to train. You got to go through the situation. I remember the first time I got into active sports. I'm like, I just want to go out there and just play the game. They're like, no. We got to go through fundamentals. We're going to have to do some crunches. We're going to do some jumping jacks. We're going to run around the field. You can guess what sport it was. Yeah, it was soccer. Then from there, I went on to train and learned a little bit about football, American football. Then it went on to learning about American basketball. But you know, one of the key components of all of those different activities, regardless what you do, is the training. It's the struggle. It's the not putting your best out there at first, and all of a sudden you realize you must grit your teeth and get in there. Then you begin to notice that you have endurance. Because when you first start off at anything, you're going so excited, but you don't have the endurance. So when the game is really on, you don't have the win to play. That's why I say, business, life, you need to have people who live it with you. It's always a challenge. And I know you guys out there are trying to find somebody to live life with you. Be encouraged. Don't give up. Yes, I know dating sucks. That's the benefit of being married. But if you're married, it also can suck too if your partner doesn't agree with you. So how do you kind of navigate through all those things? It is through the story. Are you a good storyteller? I know for a lot of us, we don't always like to tell stories. Some of us only like to tell jokes. That's also good. Because everything and everything we witness and everything we go through, it's all about that story. You probably got one that you never shared with me, and I got several I never shared with you. But we need those stories. You know, one of the things that's interesting is that whenever we're operating in life, especially in the areas where we don't have experience, we have to make sure that we embrace the story. That is where we get to grow, we get to learn, we get to build persistence. One of the characteristics of success is persistence, just so you know. We've heard it before, but what really is persistence? It's going against my natural ability to quit. That's what persistence is. What's endurance? It's once I go through my natural ability to quit, it is the skills that I learn through continually getting stronger in areas allows me to have that persistence. They're willing to keep going. None of us start off with persistence. We all start off with the will to quit. I know a lot of you say, man, I definitely. Days in and days out, everybody needs a break from something. A mind twist, a shatter of excitement that realized that it was really work. But what do? Here's 3 points that you can do right now in order to change everything that you're doing in your life to get better. Point number 1, Be willing to share the story with others, and also to tell the story where they don't actually have to respond by calling you crazy. Sometimes we tell a story, and when we share that story, we actually give it from the point of view that, look, please tell me I'm crazy. Tell me I'm crazy. Well, guess what? They're going to tell you you're crazy. They're also going to tell you it's not worth it. Number 2, tell a story with twist. Tell it how you learned from that previous mistake, or how it led you to actually do the right thing. Because if you can't have a twist in the story, then it's dramatized without a solution. And let me just explain to you, dramatization without a solution means that most people don't want to have nothing to do with it. Part of sharing the story is to be able to have the drama, to have that part of, oh man, and then the good comeback. And number 3, make sure no matter what takes place in the story, whether you're doing a YouTube video, you're talking to your parents, you're talking to your friends, you're talking to your wife or your husband, boyfriend or girlfriend, you got to be able to rise from the story.